Hey guys, we have got a very exciting instrument to talk to you about this week. It is the Volta Violinatron. This thing is different. We carry a lot of different instruments here with a lot of different features. Nothing has quite the feature set that this instrument does. So what exactly is it? Well, this is a hybrid violin. It can function like an acoustic or an electric or an acoustic-electric. And it really has a lot of different functions in how it can act. It acts a little bit like an acoustic violin in that it doesn't necessarily need an amplifier to be heard. It's got an amplifier built in, and these are speakers on top of the instrument. So I can play this and you can hear me. I can use this as a performance instrument without amplification. It's not quite as loud as your typical acoustic violin, but in a small, fairly quiet setting, say if you're doing strolling violinist type stuff, this can absolutely be used as a performance instrument without amplification. Also, it can be plugged into an amp in a PA, and it makes very little sound by itself. It's pretty quiet. You can use this for quiet practice. It can also function like an acoustic electric violin in that you plug it in, but you can also hear it under your ear if you turn the speakers up. So it really functions a lot of different ways, and I'm going to let you hear it. I'm going to play it for you for just a second. I'm going to let you hear the instrument unplugged with the speakers on. It has built-in reverb, yes. So we're going to hear it unplugged with the speakers on, with the speakers and the reverb on, and then you're going to hear it plugged in through a Fishman Loudbox Artist. So you can hear how loud it is compared to my voice. Now you can hear how loud it is compared to my voice. So it's a really cool violin, right? You can just already start imagining the ways that you could use this instrument. You can take it with you if you've got a couple of different things that you need to do at a gig. Maybe you need to do something that you just need the acoustic part for, and then later on that night you've got to plug it in. You don't have to bring two instruments, right? So anyway, I've got a quick interview here with the creator of the instrument, Marat Gabdullin, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about it.
I came back from a gig or something. It was an outdoors gig, and it really felt like, you know, outdoors, especially violin, just doesn't sound that well. You know, sounds kind of teeny and dry, you know, with no room. And I was like, okay. And then I remember I was messing with my old preamp. I just got a Marshall 5-watt thing, you know, that I plug my electric instruments to. And I looked on the inside and I looked at the amplifier board, and I was like, you know, this is actually not that big, you know. And then I was thinking, well, what if, you know, it's one of those what if. And then I was like, well, here's an amplifier board and here's the speaker right there. Well, what if I just combine everything and just put everything together in one box? That was kind of initial thought process. So yeah, and actually the weight is another issue. You know, the prototype is a bit heavier than, and it's something that actually I you know, was trying to real hard to make it, you know, what it is, yet, you know, a reasonable weight. I was trying to stay at 2 pounds.
Yeah, you're significantly under 2 pounds. I think I weighed this, even with a chin rest and stuff on it, it's like 1 pound and 12 ounces or something.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, yeah. And so after building that prototype, you know, I remember running to a friend of mine and just, I've got to build this, I've got to see, he's a violinist too. We're working in the orchestra here. And he was really the first person who saw that. And we both kind of joked that, hey, this is a Tesla of violin world, in a way, and then we were kind of talking about it, and he actually came up with the name of Violinatron as the name of the device, the instrument. So instead of calling it electric violin, which, to me, electric violin is what I see there, it's something that has to be plugged in. So so for this, since it's kind of a little different concept, even though it's electric violin, but so we've kind of come up with this Violinatron name.
Well, we see so many times. I have an engineering degree, so it's the thing to teach in engineering school is that everything's a trade-off, right? So every time you see somebody who's we're trying to be two things, you end up not being either one of them usually. Right. And this is one of those rare times where it's sort of like an acoustic violin, like it's a standalone. It makes sound. You can play it, and the people in the room can hear you, just like an acoustic violin. But it's also basically a solid body or a chambered body electric violin, and it's trying to do both of those things, and it actually succeeds at both of them. It's sort of a rare thing where maybe you've almost like warped space or something. You defeated the trade-off law,
Well, that's awesome.
And I love the fact that even when I'm plugged in, one of the things that people don't like about acoustic or electric violins is, all the sound's coming out of the speaker. It's a little disorienting at first, right? It takes a while to get used to. I don't have anything under my ear to tell me what I'm playing. And this isn't super loud, but it's loud enough that on a fairly chill stage, you'd be able to hear this under your ear without any trouble. Well, the thing is, you can do a strolling violin gig with this instrument.
Right.
And in fact, and it's not quite as loud as an acoustic violin. But like if you're doing a strolling violin thing in a restaurant, people are talking or whatever, like a standard classical violin is really too loud for that job, right? You find yourself holding back on that because you're trying not to blast people out. Exactly. And the fact that this is a little quieter, I can still dig in and play this thing the way I want to play it, but I'm not smoking people out around me.
Right.
So I can take one instrument with me. If I'm going to do a wedding or something, I can handle the strolling violinist part earlier without even being plugged in. And then I can go play the cocktail hour afterwards where I am plugged in, and I only bring one instrument with me, and it basically does both jobs.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like somebody commented on Facebook. It's like, why would I want this if my acoustic violin is already too loud? I'm like, well, you can turn the volume on this one down, right? Exactly.
We have the technology.
Yeah. So